Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel and Happy Lunar New Year. Today we're going to take a look at a piece that fits the occasion in my opinion. This is the Seagull 1963 mechanical chronograph. This is a beautiful column wheel mechanical chronograph from Seagull. This piece is a tribute, or shall I say a reissue, to the first made in China mechanical chronograph for the Chinese Air Force. We are going to go into some history here, so please bear with me. In 1961, the Chinese government wanted to develop their own chronograph watches for their own Air Force. This was known as Project 304. Before that, all their chronographs were imported from Swiss or Russia. Project 304 was then assigned to Tianjin Watch Factory, which is the predecessor to the Seagull Watch Company. Coincidentally, Venus, a famous movement maker at the time, was planning to sell off their older machineries and designs for the Venus caliber 175. Tasked with Project 304, Tianjin Watch Factory bought the entire design and machineries from Venus. A side note here, when I posted this piece on my Instagram, I sometimes get some not so clever comments stating that China copied Venus. So I would like to take the opportunity to clarify here that that is not true. They bought the design from Venus. They did not copy it. Also, instead of using the movement straight, Tianjin upgraded the movement by adding 2 more jewels to caliber 175 from 17 to 19 and named the movement ST19. Tianjin completed their second prototype in 1963, and this is where the watch gets its name from. And by 1965, these watches met all the requirements and was given the green light. In 1966, a total of 1,400 pieces were delivered to the Air Force. Blogger Albert Kaminsky has a very detailed blog about the history of this piece. I'm going to put a link to his blog in the description. This piece here is an reissue. There are many variants of the current new Seagull 1963 today. They come in 37mm and 42mm and has various dial colors and different watch crystal. What I have here is the 37mm version with a sapphire crystal. The original 1963 came with an acrylic crystal. There is also a 37mm with acrylic crystal if you want to stay true to the original version. I, however, wanted a sapphire crystal for the robustness. Let's get into the specs of the watch. This watch has a case diameter of 37mm. The thickness, including the slightly domed sapphire crystal, is 14.3mm. It has a lug-to-lug distance of 46.5mm and a lug width of 18mm. The case is entirely high polish. Every single surface of the watch is highly polished. It is made of stainless steel, and it comes with a simple push and pull crown with a signed star crown. The 2 chronograph pushes are unsigned. Let me just show you. Pull the crown. Okay, so this is a non-hackable movement and it's hand windable. So this piece here is a column wheel mechanical chronograph. We are going to go into the detail a little bit more there, but let me just try to show you how it works. By pressing the 2 o'clock pusher, the chronograph, the red second hand will start to move, and pressing it again will stop it, and pressing the 4 o'clock pusher will reset it back to 0. Let's get straight to the face of the watch. The face stays quite true to the original version. It has a champagne colored dial with gold markers. The odd hours are with triangles and the even hours are with numerals. There are 2 sub-dials here. The one at the 9 is for the regular second, as you can see it's moving. And the one at the 3 o'clock position is to keep track of the chronograph minutes. This piece has a 30 minutes chronograph. The hour and minute hands are painted blue and the second hand is painted red. There is a communist red star just slightly under the 12 o'clock marker And below that, you have 21 Zuan, which means 21 jewels in Chinese. And at the bottom, there are some Chinese characters. Let me just move the hand away so that you can see it. It's stated as 中国制造 or China made. There are minute trackers all around the dial. The back is where the watch shines. As you can see, the version that I got here is with a clear open case back, and there are some Chinese characters, printed all around with the 1963 mark. The movement here is an ST1901, which is a descendant of the original ST19, and it has 21 jewels, as I stated just now. It's a column wheel chronograph. As I know, there are two main types of mechanical chronograph out there, the column wheel and the Cooley's lever chronograph. I'm not sure whether if I pronounced that correctly. From what I read, column wheel chronographs are generally more expensive and not as common, but are typically more desirable to the watch collectors because of the level of quality and attention to detail in their manufacture. From what I understand, it's quite hard to manufacture. So as you can see, there's this, you can see like a castle-like turret here. This is the column wheel. So as I press the pusher, the lever will drive into the column wheel. Let me just try to show if I can. You can see the column wheel moving. So with that, we can start the chronograph function. Let me just try to stop it. You can see the chronograph, the column wheel move. Okay. So I'm gonna leave it at that because I'm not an expert, in movement, especially in chronograph movement. So I'm gonna leave it at that. But if you are interested to know more about mechanical chronograph, I think you can find a lot more information on the internet. This is a hand-wound movement. It's not an automatic, it's a mechanical hand-wound movement. So there, as you can see, there is no rotor inside there. So to top up the power reserve of this piece, you just have to wind it until you feel there is some kind of a resistance. That is where you stop. So you have to be very careful so that you don't keep on winding and winding until you hit a hard stop, and then if you continue to wind it, you might even break the stem of the movement. So for mechanical piece, you gotta be a little bit more careful. This piece has a power reserve of 40 hours and it beats at 21,600 beats per hour. I couldn't find any official rated accuracy numbers, but I've timed mine and I got about plus 10.4 seconds per day. Enough with the specs, and let's admire the movement here. Under the loop, the finishing might not be so great, but let's say if you take a step back, it is truly a very beautiful movement with some decoration. They even went with the blue screws and coupled with the pink artificial rubies, that is the jewels. This is indeed a very, very colorful and nice to look at movement. Okay, the strap here is not the original strap. The original strap is an olive green NATO strap. It's not bad, but it's not very good either. So I've swapped that out and replaced with this vintage leather. I think it matched the watch quite well in terms of the theme, the overall vintage theme. Alright, this is how the watch looks on my 6-inch wrist. It looks quite okay, and it feels quite dressy in some ways because maybe of the champagne colored dial and gold markers, I believe. But my only complaint is that there is a big gap between the watch case and where the strap, attached to the case. I think that is not a problem if you stay with a NATO strap or a Perlon strap, but let's say if you're on, like a leather or something, you can definitely feel that there is a very, very big gap here. That is my only complaint, when this piece is on the wrist. Other than that, to me, it's really a nice looking watch. Alright, with the read shot done, let's wrap up the video here. I'm going to leave the chronograph running here so that you can see later on how the minute will advance. This is truly an iconic piece that has a good amount of history behind it. I know there is a stigma in made in China watches, but just understand here that there are good and bad watchmakers in China. So it is not right to categorize that all made in China watches or movement are trash. Just understand that there are different tiers there. And if you're not aware, Seagull also manufacture their own high-end tourbillon movement. And for the price of this piece at around $350, where else can you find a column wheel chronograph at this kind of price? Alright, with that said and the minute hands started moving, that's all for this video. If you're new to this channel, please help by subscribing to my channel, and you can follow me on my Instagram at gfw_watch for more watch related content, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye bye.